As some of you may know, the best heist Cayo Perico recently got a massive nerf where payouts were decreased by 30% and entry fee to the heist was quadrupled. And because of that, let's look at some really good vehicles that are inexpensive but are really useful, and I still use them all the time. I'm going to talk about armored vehicles, cars you can use for missions, and some cars that are good for racing around and have good upgrades so you can take them to car meets. Let's start with few vehicles that are really good for missions and money making for those who are starting up or even for the veteran players. First up is the armored KURUMA, which is the most expensive vehicle on the list. And let's start with the obvious part that is in its name, the armor. This car is the only one in this game fully bulletproof from bullets against NPCs. I say that since regular players can still find a really tiny spot to shoot you. Because of this bulletproofness, it is wonderful to use for missions since you can shoot your guns from the windows at enemies and be completely safe inside your car without taking any damage. And the armor is not the only strong point for this car. KURUMA has amazing drivability, it is simple to handle and yet it is really agile. It is all-wheel drive vehicle with good acceleration and handling ability, meaning you can drive it not only for the missions but also use it as a really good sports car. And on top of that, it has 4 seats, so it is really good for missions that need 4 people. Downside of this car is that even though it has armor, it will be blown up by only one homing rocket, but if you are using it for missions, you won't have to worry about that. Another really good car for missions is the Duco Def, which can be free for you if you are returning from really old consoles like PS3 and Xbox 360, or if you have Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, which some of the people could have gotten for free when the game itself was free a couple years ago. But even if you have to pay full price for it, it's still really good and it is more armored against homing rockets than KURUMA. It is armored against bullets only from the front and rear, but side windows are completely not bulletproof. It can withstand a surprising 9 homing rockets until it blows up, which makes it really useful for online lobbies. It has 5 mph higher top speed compared to KURUMA, but it doesn't handle as good as it since it is rear-wheel drive muscle car. But it is still fun to drive around in the city and it can also do a wheelie. And if you are wondering, the lights on the top are actually functional and will light up when you put on your high beams. And regular lights have this cool cover which goes down to reveal your lights when you turn them on. Unfortunately, this car doesn't have any interesting upgrade options, so you are stuck with what you get. This car is really good for its armor, and if you don't need to seat 4 people since it only has 2 seats, this is a great car to have. If you need a fun, cool, inexpensive sports car, Armor Schafter V12 is a really good pick for all the things I mentioned before. This is another armored car, but this one aims to be more of a luxury car with armor to keep you safe. It is faster than both the cars mentioned before, and even though this one is rear-wheel drive, it still handles wonderfully. Its armor is of a different category, where it has normal glass, but all of the windows can take quite a few bullets before they break. It can only take 2 homing rockets until it blows up, so if you get hit by a rocket, use that as a warning to get out of the situation as quick as you can. Besides the armor, this car just looks nice and has some upgrade options like bumpers, side skirts and wing to make it less of a luxury car and more like a sports car. Even though it is armored, it doesn't stand out so much from regular cars, so you can look cool while being safe. Now, if you want to win any races or be fast around the map, you will need to have a supercar. Turismo R is an inexpensive supercar which handles really well and has good top speed. Also, if you have Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, it will be free for you. It is fun to drive around, and even though it is rear-wheel drive, it is still a supercar which tends to stick to the road surface really well. And because it's rear-wheel drive, it means you can have more fun by drifting it around corners. On top of that, it looks excellent and has upgrade options to enhance the look even more. Not long ago, about half a year ago, Some older cars got more upgrade options to make all cars even better, and this was one of them. This car now has a lot of upgrades to choose from to make it look the way you want to and to stand out from other cars. And the performance together with the looks makes this car a must-buy, and it's inexpensive, so it won't hurt your wallet. If you don't like supercars and want an SUV, the best option would be PEGASSI Toros, which is the fastest SUV in this game, but yet an inexpensive one. It is all-wheel drive SUV, which handles pretty well for being an SUV. It is still a top-heavy car, so it doesn't grip the surface like a sports car. But it is still fun to drive since it is fast and cool looking, with its giant thick wheels. And it indeed looks great and has quite a lot of upgrade options to choose from, so you can make it as tame as you want it, or make it really aggressive looking with all the carbon hoods and bumpers. Definitely recommend getting this SUV since it is the fastest out of all of them and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. So these have been the best cars you can buy without breaking the bank. What do you think about Rockstar nerfing the Cayo Perico heist? Was it necessary to do that, or they just should make another heist to encourage team play? Also, which was your favorite car? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. And as always, I will see you lovely people in the next one. Have a great day.